This first video gave me a bit of a headache, which is why I've been quieter lately. While preparing, I got caught up in historical accuracy. I ended up talking with my teacher Nick, who helped me out of it. That exchange made me realize I often get trapped in the need to understand things, and it can drown out the reason why I started playing in the first place. So with that in mind, I'd like this series to explore the nerdy side of things, but in a way that feeds our intuition without drowning it. Let's start with a word, honkadori. I found this word in a book called Just Living, written by Stephen Carter. It's a book about the lay monk and poet Tonna, who lived 600 years ago in Japan, roughly when the Hitoyogiri was becoming popular. Tonna was a master of his time. He specialized in a type of poetry called uta, better known as waka, and he considered the way of poetry as a Buddhist way towards enlightenment. The author tells us that keiko, or composition practice, would be something akin to a devotional as well as a professional activity, which I find interesting. Reading this book made me feel like I was sitting on Tonna's shoulder during those poetry gatherings in the 1200s, witnessing the contests, the competition, and what it's like to live your art as a bath, to let it seep into all the areas of your daily life. Moreover, Hitoyogiri music and poetry feel like distant cousins somehow, or maybe not so distant, actually. Both were a part of cultural gatherings in the Muromachi period, and when I look at the music that we play, I see resemblances in length and rhythm with Japanese poetry. Reading poetry from the Muromachi period, I think, is a useful way to tune into the spirit of Hitoyogiri music, just as a nettori helps us get in the mood or get in the season. And here's where honkadori gave me a light bulb moment. This is how the author defines the term. Honkadori is the explicit borrowing of lines from an earlier poem to provide the framework for one's own. Doesn't that remind you of something? We see that a lot in Hitoyogiri music. And I know that in China, a long time ago, you wouldn't be taken seriously if you came up with a brand new idea unless it was built on a reliable, time-tested model. In other words, your idea had to be an improvement of an older, trusted concept. You couldn't just show up with something brand new out of nowhere. I wonder if honkadori is an application of that idea. Coming back to Hitoyogiri, these repetition patterns appear a lot. I remember when I started playing, some songs would vary only by a couple of notes. All the tunes sounded the same, like almost boring. And yes, it is boring in the hands of someone inexperienced. But over time, through repetition, you stop reading the notes and you get into the groove of the music, and something happens. The author of Tonna's book says the same about poetry. In the hands of some poets, the technique led to mere repetition. Ideally, though, the aim was to use the technique to enter into a sort of dialogue with an earlier text, producing not a copy, but a true variation. And I think it's fascinating to see how this translates into our practice. I'll close this video with a poem by Ikkyu about Tonna. Ikkyu lived roughly a century after Tonna, and it could be that he's referring to him, to the Tonna that I talked about before, or maybe he's referring to another Tonna from the 14th century. Ikkyu didn't leave us enough cues to know for sure. So this poem is seasoned with a dash of mystery, and that makes it even nicer. When he blows the shakuhachi, even ghosts and gods are moved. Among wanderers beneath heaven, none is his equal. The myriad phenomena are gathered in this one melody. From the flute hollow, the very man of Fuso steps forth. That's it for today's coffee break. Make sure to subscribe for more nerdy sips of inspiration, and as always, thanks for watching. The myriad phenomena. Phenomena. Ba 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 da da.